I felt like it was something wrong with me, you know, when actually it's just something different about me, you know, and it's also what makes me good at other stuff. My name's Matt Willis. I'm a musician, father, husband. I have ADHD.
Matt Willis.
Hi.
What's so interesting about your story is you only got your diagnosis in your late 30s, right?
Late 30s, yeah. I was in...
Just before lockdown.
Just before lockdown.
And so having had this experience, you know, you're going through, you're coping in various ways, your addiction's flaring up in various ways.
Yeah.
How did that diagnosis feel? And what was your immediate response to it?
I don't know. People had said that, you know, the word ADHD to me before, you know, but I was just like, I don't know. I had weird feelings about those words because I was just like, that's just a word for lazy.
Yeah.
You know, that's just a word for unfocused, and I'm not those things.
Like as an insult?
But, yeah, like it was an insult, you know, and I didn't understand what any of that stuff meant. Like I'd never had anyone talk to me about any kind of neurodiversity whatsoever. And then the first time I heard it again, like me and my wife were in marriage counselling because I'd done a series of very ADHD things, which were just getting us in trouble.
Right. Impulsivity,
not following through on things, you know, like having great grand gestures and never following through with them, you know, all these kind of things I would do again and again and again. And so we went to marriage counselling, and the marriage counsellor was like, I want you to go see someone. And I was like, whoa, don't make this about me. You know, we're here together. This is about us.
Both of us. We're both of us.
We're a team. You know, we both got it.
Yeah.
So I turned up at someone's office, and it was like, he was an ADHD specialist. And we kind of went through that lengthy kind of diagnosis thing, which took ages. And also asking someone with ADHD to fill out forms is like the most crazy thing to do.
What's going on there?
So it took me twice as long as it should have, you know, and I had to ask people for letters and things like that. So I eventually got the diagnosis, and at first I was a bit cross, you know.
Okay.
I kind of had this weird grieving period, which is kind of strange. Kind of like, if only I'd known this, you know, when I was a kid, I wouldn't have felt such a loser, you know. Like I spent my whole life kind of feeling like I was really thick. Like at school, I was in every special class, every kind of destructive, crazy kids would be in this room, you know, like that was me every school I went to.
Yeah.
And I was always in trouble, you know, and I didn't never do anything really bad, but I was just naughty.
Yeah, just distracting people,
and just distracting people, always in trouble, always kind of like, you know, the root of someone else's drama, you know, like it was just an onslaught of stuff, you know. So it was a weird kind of thing to kind of get my head around. And then plus I was like, I'm 37, you know, at the time, you know, what do I do with this now?
Yeah.
You know, like, what's the point of knowing this now? You know, like, and then I kind of went through, I found things to do to work on it.
Yeah.
And kind of like, and I read about it, and I kind of like went into this hyper focus mode on ADHD for years, and it was transformative.
Amazing.
You know, it was the most incredible experience. Like everything made sense, you know, to me, and suddenly my life made sense to me. And I managed to let go of these feelings of you're stupid, and which I'd held on for so long, that I kind of like been so destructive for me, and these feelings of less than in certain rooms, and when I walk into places and feeling socially awkward because I hope someone doesn't ask me something and I can't answer it, you know, all these kind of feelings of less than just slowly started to unravel. You know, I mean, I still have those things every now and again, you know, don't get me wrong, but it was much less, and I found it really quite empowering, which was weird because I was like, I felt like it was something wrong with me, you know, when actually it's just something different about me, you know, and it's also what makes me good at other stuff.
And also other people have similar struggles.
Yeah.
That's what blew my mind, was like, I'm reading a book or I'm watching a video and I'm thinking, oh my God, like I had no idea that there was just another way to do it. Yeah. It's the shame that I think is the saddest part of it. It's like, God, stupid me.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
You know, like, why can't I, like, I know if I do this, everyone's going to be happy. Why can't I do this thing?
I think that was part of my problem with the diagnosis. I didn't want to have anything wrong with me. I wanted to be strong. I wanted to be capable. I wanted to not, you know, I didn't want to be at a disadvantage as a, do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to have, I was already that drug addict. Yeah. You know, I was like, I don't want to have a mental health issue as well, or, you know, or whatever I saw it as at the time.
Really?
You know, I always felt like I should be able to deal with stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I should be able to be a man and just deal with it and get stuff done like everyone else. And it was only through kind of exploring ADHD and what that was, I was able to let that stuff go.
Where did it come from?
I think that's being a kid and told, just do it.
Really?
Why can't you do this?
By who?
You know, by everyone, stepfathers, by parents, by schools, by teachers. You know, like just do this. You know, why can't you do it? You're thick.
Yeah.
You know, and like not wanting to be that. Most of my life, I never talked about anything because I was kind of like, I didn't want anyone to see me because I felt that they'd judge me.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't want to be judged. I wanted to just blend in or fit in and not be the weird kid. You know, so I never talked about anything that was going on. And now I've had the most incredible experiences of my life by being open, honest, and talking about stuff and showing vulnerability.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's really important as men that we do, because I think there's so many people out there who struggle and they keep it all inside, and that's really bad for anybody, you know. So it's like, I wish there was more people in my life that were doing that I could look up to, or kind of like, or listen to. You know, like I really wish that had been a part of my my childhood and my adolescence.
Yeah, that's interesting that you would see that as a subsequence of being just a young boy who doesn't want to appear as a broken. Yeah, it's interesting you mentioning Emma. Of course, your wife Emma Willis is an incredibly accomplished presenter, TV personality. How has she found your diagnosis? Did that change the dynamics of your relationship, or?
She was like, duh. You know, I found it really hard to deal with at first. She was like, babe,
I knew.
Well, she didn't know, but once she knew what that was,
right, she
was like, oh my God, this is a tick list of your life, you know.
Wow.
And it was like, it was every single one. I was like, yep. She was like, this is so obvious, you know, but no one had ever really pointed it out to me before, you know. And plus I you kind of build up ways of masking things and hiding things and kind of dealing with situations.
Masking
so
huge,
massively, you know, like, and being able to navigate the fact that you do these things, you know, and like I was able to kind of find ways of hiding certain aspects of myself in a way.
You mean on a day-to-day basis, in order for you to feel that balanced, or that you can even engage with life, it's taking a lot of energy.
Yeah, in a way, you know, like
to present.
That's exactly what it is, to present and to feel okay.
Yeah.
To present.
Yeah.
You know, is a lot of kind of
effort.
Just effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular little bits and things you do, routines you've added in order to make that an easier? Yeah,
like I've been told since I first went to rehab to meditate.
Right, I know.
And I was like, mate, you have no idea. How can you do that? And I was like, you're asking me to sit on my own, you know,
with these thoughts,
with these thoughts, and try and stop them. You know, I'm like, it's never going to happen. So, and I did so many tries of different things in different kind of ways. And then I really kind of like looked into it and found out what actually meditation is and what it isn't, you know, and that it's your brain's job to think. You know, mine has 1,000 thoughts a second or something, but that's just my brain. That's my brain doing its job. And the job of meditation isn't to stop those thoughts, it's to recognize your thinking and then go back to your breath. And every time you do that, you're meditating. So I do that every day. I don't have a set routine. I try different things all the time. You know, there's one that I love called Yoga Nidra, which you just lie down, because part of the problem was sitting still.
Yeah, right.
You know, I was like, how do I sit still and kind of like, where my hands are there?
I know you've got to
I'm
do
like,
that.
oh no, my hands are uncomfortable. No, I shouldn't be moving.
What's that?
You know,
train
yeah,
in the
exactly. I
background?
can hear something. Oh my God. Oh, my jeans too tight. You know, all this kind of, you know, all these things that go on. You know, but this is like, you just lay down and listen to a script and focus on different parts of your body. And by doing that, you're getting away from your thoughts.
Are you being guided?
Yeah, you're being guided the whole time.
Guided thing.
Dude, it's amazing. And you can do it for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You know, I did it every night before stage because my thoughts would go crazy with me.
Whoa.
You know, so I would just go in my bunk on tour and just do a 20-minute yoga nidra, and I'd be like, boom, ready to go. It allows me to kind of be a bit more present and be less kind of like in my own head about everything. Yeah. You know, and I'm still in my own head about everything, you know, but I'm allowing that to be okay in a way. And also I'm not panicking about that.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, it's not going to necessarily change overnight, but it's just that thing of just not falling into the cycle of self like blame and annoyance. Yeah. Wrong. The idea of wrong.
That's it. It's that feeling of you're bad.
You know, once I did this ceremony, and one of the facilitators, who I honestly wouldn't even be able to describe this person to you right now.
Yeah.
I would have to put him into some kind of TV show or film or something.
Right.
He was honestly like a cartoon. We were doing this ceremony, and it was some kind of rebirth intention vibe. And at one point, he said something, and I remember responding, going, "Oh, sorry, I must have done that wrong." And he turned to me, this guy, and he looked me dead in the eyes, and he went, "You've never done a thing wrong." And I literally was like, okay, extreme point, but that immediate feeling, I was like, dude, I think everything I do is wrong.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I've never ever had a person tell me, no. And dude, that stayed with me for so long. And I thought, maybe I need to look at life as if I've not done, because it felt until that point a constant...
Yeah, that kind of like overwhelming fear in the back of your head that you're about to get told off or found out. Like one of the worst things for me is diaries.
Yeah, but are you looking after it yourself?
Well, I have learned not to do that.
Yeah, no, you can't.
I'm in a very privileged place.
Very fortunate,
Very fortunate, privileged place that luckily my job allows me to get
people
someone
can get AI to do
exactly. They definitely will. Yeah. They probably can now. Yeah. If you're ADHD, dealing with diaries is a nightmare. God. So that was a constant thought in my head that
should I be somewhere?
Should I be somewhere?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh my, and I'd be at home and I know I got a day off, but I'd go, no, I'm supposed to be somewhere.
Supposed to be somewhere.
And I'm just waiting for the phone to go off to be told where I'm going to be.
I literally had that last year.
Right.
I swear on anything.
Yeah.
I was walking, I don't know where I was. I'd gone off on a tangent. Again, this is stuff that I've had to learn to live with, which is that at any given point, I could begin a task.
Yeah.
Oh, why don't I reply to this person? And I could literally end up in central London. Yeah. I could literally, as a consequence of, oh no, I forgot to, no, you know what? Let me actually just nip into London and grab that jumper for the thing I'm doing. Yeah. So I was on one of these side quests that I just randomly. And
I love that term, side quest.
Yeah, I was just on a side quest. And then I got this text going, what time are you getting here? Your starter's gone cold. And I was like, sorry, what? And I was supposed to be at an award show, like a table that had been booked. I know, bro.
God, mate, dude.
I know, it's bad. And I was like, what do you mean? And they were like, yeah, the awards. Are you not coming tonight? And I went, I think, in my credit, I think I'll be real. Yeah. I can't even get there, realistically. Yeah. And then I thought, you know what? We probably won't win. Right. We won, didn't we?
Did you really know? And you weren't there?
Yeah, we won. We won, bro. And I was like, the chances. Oh my God. What I told myself though is, I guarantee if I'd made the choice to go there, we wouldn't have won. You would have won. I'm telling myself
you
right
did it for
now,
the team.
The universe where I arrived at that place, we've not won the award. I'm convinced. But I get that. It's interesting you got the trouble thing too. The other thing about ADHD is, I do think there are some strengths that come with it. Well, I just wondered what you considered to be the strengths of your ADHD and maybe how that plays into things like fatherhood.
I mean, that's a good question. I think I didn't think there would be any strengths to that. I thought it would just be all negatives. But I think the reason I've done everything in my life is because of ADHD. In some weird way. Like, I found myself in situations like that I've willed to happen. Do you know what I mean? Through sheer hyper focus, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. That I don't think I'd be able to do if I didn't have ADHD. If I love something, I love it to the detriment of everything else in my life. But I love it so much that I will make it happen. Yeah. Also, I think there's something within me that, because I kind of felt like I was always kind of blagging my way through everything. Yeah. I managed to blag my way into lots of situations.
Lots of really good situations.
I became really good at that. Yeah. And like that has landed me on my feet quite a few times. But I think my ability to life or death hone in on something is massive. If I'm into it and I'm not distracted, I can go full on something, which is really great for certain things, not so great for marriage and children sometimes. But I'm like, Daddy's busy. Trying to do a Rubik's Cube. Whatever that is.
Well, I was going to ask, so go on, give an example of the strengths of ADHD in parenting and perhaps the setbacks. Doing Rubik's Cubes in private, that's definitely...
Definitely. I mean, and also I couldn't do it, so it was a waste of time. But I found a way to kind of like feel compassionate about myself, which allows me to be really compassionate with my kids. I don't want them to ever feel not good enough, at anything. And also, it's okay to not be good at certain things. It's really hard because they're in school, right? And this school system, I think, is set up so weirdly. It's so out of touch. But I think you know, kind of, I'm able to go, don't worry, I was rubbish at all this stuff, but I've done something with my life, you know. It's not the be all and end all. My kids are brilliant at certain things, and like and then even the stuff they're not so good at, I'm still think they're brilliant at it, you know. So it's like I'm able to see it as much more compassionate kind of eye, I think. And also, like, I love it when they're into something. Like, my kids are all individually into certain things in a massive way, and I love that, you know, because I was always into something which felt unimportant to the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd be really into a band in a way that was unhealthy, people would say. You know, like, I read everything. I read the inside of covers, knew every word to every lyric, all these kind of things. And that has served me really well, you know, like that kind of passion. But then there's detriments to that, because if my mind can sometimes be very busy, you know, so I'm not as present as I want to be sometimes. I'm trying really hard to be more present.
With your kids, you mean?
With my kids,
or just
you know,
generally?
just generally, but especially with my kids, you know, I'm trying to really kind of like not be distracted, keep my phone out of the room, you know, that kind of stuff, which is really hard, you know. But what I have to be really careful with is words, right? Because I have a tendency to say something which I think is either funny or the right thing to say in the moment, which is not. You know, just impulse control is like terrible. And with kids, that's really not helpful. You know, so I have to be careful with these things. I have to watch what I say and be conscious of those things, which is really hard, because I want to just go, oh, I know about that. Blah, 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 blah. And they don't want to be overwhelmed with information. You know, they don't want to be overwhelmed with every thought I have in my head about what they're going through. Sometimes they just want to be listened to.
Just remembering their kids.
Absolutely.
Hard to remember that, because I feel sometimes I forget that there's a distinction.
If my kids hear me say hard work beats talent, if talent doesn't work hard, one more time, they're going to scream at me. They're going to scream at me.
What would you like someone who doesn't have ADHD to know about ADHD?
I don't know. You know, it's the hard one. It's like I don't really feel like I'm a poster child for anything, you know, but I do think that there is a negative connotation with the word ADHD, and they think it's just disruptive children. You know, but this affects so many aspects of life that I think are overlooked. And it's not something wrong with me. You know, like, that's what I had to learn. It's not like I have something wrong. My brain works differently to the majority of society. That can be a positive as well as a negative. But I think today's society isn't built for neurodiversity. I think it's
agreed.
Yeah, I think it's like, we got to fit into a box, and if you don't fit into a box, you're weird, you know. And I am weird, but that's cool.
I did want to end it there. It's really a good place to end there. Just so you know, we can end it there. But I do want to ask one more thing. If anyone out there is listening and considering, you know, the fact they might have ADHD, would you encourage them to get a diagnosis? Yeah. I think just for clarity of mind, you know, you can choose to do with that what you want. Like, for me, it gave me so many answers to questions I had about myself, you know, that were negative. Like, and when I found out certain aspects of ADHD, I was able to go, oh, that's because of this. And it's not an excuse. It's a reason that I behave differently, or that my brain works differently to other people's. And that's okay, because everyone has to get stuff done, right? So like, I have to be able to manage that in some ways. And I'm learning ways to manage those things, which is helping me survive in the normal no I hear it
in a regular world, you know, but I'm not like that, you know. My brain works differently, you know, and that's okay.
Matt, thank you so much. Dude, legend. You, really appreciate your time. Thanks, bro. Man. Big love.
Thanks. This has been great.